On January 24th, 2025, Toronto rapper Top5 was arrested following a firearm investigation by Toronto police. After getting a search warrant approved, Toronto police arrested Top5 around the Birchmount Road and Enterprise Boulevard area, charging him with the following 5 crimes: careless storage of a firearm, weapon, or prohibited device, possession of a weapon, unauthorized possession of a firearm knowing its possession is unauthorized, and 5, possession of a prohibited or restricted firearm with ammunition. This comes only 4 months after Top5 had his first-degree case stayed, after his lawyer, Gary Grill, argued that the Crown's use of Ali's lyrics and social media persona was flawed. Now, according to Community Legal Education Ontario, charges are stayed when a judge or Crown decides it would be bad for the justice system for the case to continue, meaning the issue of guilt or innocence is never determined. A Crown stay puts the case on hold, and the Crown can bring the charges back before the court within 1 year of the date the charges were stayed. So in this case, it would be, I guess, late September. So perhaps this investigation is hoping to lead police in building a sort of character profile about Top5 to convict him of the initial charge prior to the firearms investigation. Now, obviously, he's known to police, and obviously the police do not like this guy. And after a year has passed, the Crown cannot bring the state charges back before the court. So the Crown really only had 1 year after Top5's release to produce any sort of follow-up evidence or build a profile which would allow them to kind of push for another trial in hopes to convict him. And following his release, Top5 posted the following picture on his Instagram with the caption reading, "Shout out Big Bro at Champagne Poppy for the lawyer fees and Gary Grill for being the best lawyer in Toronto. Hashtag Allahu Akbar." Upon his release, it was undeniable that Top5's presence in the Toronto scene was infectious, as 5's visibility was at an all-time high. Not only was he popular locally, but 5's brand was able to cross the border, making noise in America as well, particularly versus Whack 100 and his willing support of Drake against Kendrick Lamar. In the short time that 5 was out, he was featured on Aiden Ross's stream, Leah May's podcast, Academic stream, and could also be seen in Dubai and Jamaica living his best life. While Top5 was out and he was in Dubai, there was a little tension with him and Julian. Julian accused him of stealing his watch and finessing him out of money. And Julian assured us that, you know what, something's gonna happen to Top5, just watch. I don't know, maybe this is some Julian Haitian type of voodoo. I don't know, it's possible. Comment down below what you think. And while many did speculate whether this was true or not, DJ Academics did in fact admit that he signed Top5 and urged him to stay out of trouble during this process.
I got a significant investment with Top5. You know, I don't know if I told y'all, I did a contract with Top5 and Boondog and Pressa and my guy YG35. We signed a multi-million-dollar deal. I said to him, I said this, bro. I said, I will give you more money, but I want you to stay out the streets. Like, people love rappers who are adjacent to the street, but if you're really in the street, you're gonna get locked up before you get popping. The dude was he just had a case. So I'm really like, yo, Top5, I'm like, bro, we trying to give you some bread to just stay out of this shit. He was on the same page. So like, I'm gonna be honest with you, this arrest is kind of shocking.
With the world in his hands, many were probably wondering what was next for Top5. Now, of course, Top5 made his name as a rapper, but at this point, it seemed like his image was far larger than any of his rap songs. It also seemed like he was a bit hesitant to drop any music. Perhaps it's because he understood the expectations of him having to make drill music, which might have been something he was trying to avoid. His affiliations with the Wassas and ties to several celebrities, including Drake and DJ Academics, was able to keep him growing in relevance, but the public were still waiting on what he would do next. While some of his charges carry a maximum penalty of up to 10 years, it'll be interesting to see what happens with his case, and whether or not they'll use this to build a character profile in order to reopen the initial case. And have Toronto police been investigating Top5 this whole time? If so, what type of surveillance and monitoring were they executing? Now, everyone is innocent until proven guilty, so I don't want to make any false accusations. However, if it's true that there was a firearm in possession, I would understand why 5 would want to protect himself. I guess for us layman folk, we're under the impression that if 5 has access to all this money, why wouldn't he hire full-time security? Why wouldn't he kind of avoid falling back into his patterns of old, right? Because we see that he might be the biggest export from the Toronto underground currently, especially in terms of appeal to America. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. He did ignite the city in a way that no one had prior to that. The city was a bit dead, and as soon as he came out, I feel like it inspired other Toronto creatives and rappers. Oh, he really did generate a lot of buzz in the city. Obviously, Drake has been spotted with him at Raptors games. I wonder what Drake has to say about this, if Drake's team is on it and trying to do damage control, or do you think they're gonna push Top 5 to the side until all his legal drama sort of passes? You never know, especially with the Canadian justice system. I know that if Pierre Poilievre is elected, there will be stricter measures on repeat offenders. Well, I guess 5 is in a tricky position because we are facing an election soon, and that could affect what happens to him going forward, right? Comment down below what you think is next for Top 5. Will he just do a little jail time and come back like nothing happened? Could this be the end of his career and relevance? Comment down below, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to Borough Sound.